Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Becca. I'm a mom to 3 boys and a military spouse, and I do a lot of motherhood lifestyle content. So if you like that type of stuff, hit that subscribe button and join the family. Today we are doing a Q&A. I put some polls on Instagram and some stuff on the community tab on this page to get some questions from you, from anybody who just wanted to get to know me better and wanted to know stuff. Really, there's no better way to put it. So I'm gonna be answering your questions today. And with that being said, let me actually point out the elephant in the room. My eyebrows look wild right now, I'm sure. To those of you who have never been here, maybe they look good. I don't know. So I got my eyebrows microbladed the other day and they look super thick. They look very like vibrant because that's just how microblading is. The first like few days until everything kind of like falls off and goes to normal, it looks very intense. And I can't wear any makeup. So I've got to keep my face pretty clean. So I've only been doing like mascara on my top lashes and just keeping the rest away. So with that being said, if it looks weird, I'm sorry. My brows are like super intense right now. So anyways, let's hop into the questions. Okay, first question. What do you and your family like to do on the weekends? This varies from weekend to weekend. If it's been a super hectic long week, honestly, we really just hang out, relax, chill out, and just hang out at the house, really, if it's been a long week, right? And then there's also the factor that sometimes Chris works on the weekends. So if he's not around, I don't really do a lot of activities with the kids outside of the house by myself, just because it's, you know, 2 little ones against me, and then a teenager who wants to go off and do his own thing anyways. So usually if it's just me, we'll just keep low-key weekend here, maybe just like watch movies and like just have fun, play card games, play video games. We like to just have fun and let loose on the weekends, and that looks different every weekend because like I said, some weekends Chris works. If he's not working, we do like to like go out and get dinner as a family, go do some shopping, take the kids to go do something fun, just that kind of stuff, maybe get some ice cream, just stuff like that really. Question number 2, how many places have you lived while being in the military? I have lived a few different places. So I went from where I am originally from in Connecticut to Hawaii, to South Carolina, to Texas, and then back to South Carolina, where we reside now. So I don't know how you would count that because we've lived in one place 2 separate times. So I don't know if that counts twice or once because it's the same place. But we knew when we went to Texas that, actually, funny story, when we went to Texas, we put in to get Hawaii or Spain. We really wanted to go to Spain, but unfortunately we got Wichita Falls, Texas, which it's not my favorite place in Texas to be, if I'm being honest. It's 20 minutes from the border of Oklahoma. It's in Tornado Alley. There's not a lot to do in that area, but we made the best of it, and we were really close to Dallas, and we had gone to Austin, which is where we actually got married. So we just traveled a lot, and because there's so many great places in Texas, we just didn't love the area we were in. Like I said, nothing wrong with it. It reminded me of like my hometown, like very small, quaint, you know, but there wasn't a lot to do. So only downfall. So we knew once we left Texas that we wanted to go to South Carolina. We wanted to go back there because we knew we both liked it. We enjoyed it. We knew we probably wouldn't get those destination spots like Spain and Hawaii. We also didn't want to be overseas because Chris was going to be retiring. So we wanted to be somewhere stateside so that we could, you know, he could find a job and not have to, you know, fly from an island or another country just to come in to the mainland and look for a job. So next question. When you shop for pieces, are there certain design elements you look for, or do you just grab pieces that catch your eye? For me, I usually go in with a plan. I mean, I'll go into a store sometimes and kind of just be window shopping, and if I see something I love, then I'll grab it, right? If it catches my eye, I'm gonna grab it. But when I'm like decorating a room, I try to decorate like in sections, right? And then sometimes I'll decorate rooms and there'll still be a few pieces that I couldn't find and I'll just keep my eye out for them. But most of the time when I'm decorating, I will look on Pinterest, I'll look on Instagram, I'll look for inspiration. A lot of the times it's not just one picture that I find that I'm like, oh, I want to do this exactly. It's usually like a handful and I'm picking pieces from each one and I'll make a list of those pieces. So every time I go out, I know what I want. So if I'm out at TJ Maxx or like Home Goods or something, I'll look on my list and I'll be like, oh, they have this today, so I'll grab it. Because that's a lot of decorating. Like you'll think of things in your head and if you don't write it down, you'll either forget about it or you stop looking for it because you've forgotten about it and then, you know, it might be there. But a lot of the times when I'm looking for decor pieces, it's never like a one and done thing. Like I don't go to the store and I'm able to grab everything I want to decorate a room. It's usually just over time I collect all of these things to decorate the room. So as soon as I get an idea of the style I want to go with, I usually make a list of things that I think will be great for decorating purposes. So when I am out, I know to look for those things. I hope that made sense because I feel like it was a little all over the place. So hopefully that makes sense. Any pointers on DIY floral arrangements? I'm not great with this. I just recently honestly started decorating with more floral arrangements. It was never my cup of tea before. I don't know what it was. I just never gravitated to it, but I do like having a pop of greenery now. So I've been messing with it more. And honestly, it's another one of those things where I kind of just look for inspiration and tweak it on my own. There's a lot of things that I'll see. There's a lot of things that I'll just see online. And then I'll kind of have that in my head and then I'll go to like Joann's. I love to shop at Joann's for floral, like things that I can put together. Not like one whole piece, but you know, for pieces I can buy. So I'll go to Joann's. First off, they do a discount for teachers and they also do a discount for military. So anyways, I always love their pieces there. Every time I go there, I can find floral arrangements that I love, right? And I buy little pieces and piece them together myself. And honestly, I'll grab it at the store and I'll like grab pieces here and there that I think will look good together and I'll bundle them together and see how it looks right there and go from there. I mean, I'm a visual person, so I need that visual element. Like I can't just think it up in my head and just make it beautiful. I don't work that way. So I usually just go in and start mixing pieces together, or I go in already knowing, like having a inspiration picture that I already know what I'm looking for. I love this question. If you had a daughter, what would you name her? So this is a great question because for those of you who have been around for a really long time, like on my old channel, let me know who you are. Because I started my channel right before I got pregnant with Tristan, my old channel, and he's 3 years old now. So anyways, when I was pregnant with him, I knew he was my last baby. And I decided I did not want to know the gender. We already had all the baby stuff. If he was a girl, the only thing I'd have to get is clothes basically. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to know. There's no need to know. And after I did that, honestly, I wish I had done it with all of my children. It's just like the most amazing surprise in the world. Like it was amazing. But yeah, so we didn't know what he was. So we actually had a girl's name picked out and we had Tristan. Tristan was my husband's pick and I kind of just let him have the pick for a boy because I didn't have a name in mind. I wasn't really, I liked Tristan, but I wasn't like in love with that name, but my husband just loved it. So I was like, you know what, that's fine. If you want to name him Tristan, it's not a bad name. So he had that pick basically. And then we both came up with the name Alana Rain. So Alana Rain would have been her name if Tristan was a girl. His name would have been Alana Rain. And honestly, we just came up, I don't even know how we came up with Alana. I think we found Lana first and added the A to it. I liked the A sound, Alana, instead of just Lana. So we came up with Alana, and then Rain, my husband came across like REIGN, and he just really loved it and it sounded really good together. So if Tristan was a girl, he would have been Alana Rain. But when I was pregnant with Colby, before we knew that he was a boy, because you know, back then, I mean, that was 2006, you couldn't do like the blood work test or anything. So we waited, I was like halfway through my pregnancy when I found out he was a boy. But at the time, me and his father actually came up with a girl named Piper. So if Colby was a girl, he would have been named Piper. And instead he was Colby with a K. So, and then with Grayson, we knew when I was like 10 or 11 weeks what we were having. We didn't even have time, but funny story about him is he didn't have a name. He didn't have a name till he was like 2 days old because we just couldn't find anything we loved. I really liked the name Malachi. Chris did not like it. We also both liked Killian, but unfortunately his niece is named Kelia, and we just thought like with the family and everything, it was just too close, like Killian and Kelia. So we decided to veer away from that. And then we stumbled upon Grayson, which I had mentioned Grayson earlier in the pregnancy, and he was like, eh. And then when we were in the hospital, still trying to name him when he was already born, he was like, what do you think of Grayson? And I was like, it's good. Let's go with that. So yeah, so Alana Rain and Piper were the girl names that I had picked out. What's your dream vacation? My dream vacation isn't so much a destination or like a spot in general, like a country or anything in general, because I know that a lot of places have offered what I'm looking for. It's more like a style of a vacation really that I'm looking for. So I want to go to one of those resorts that is on the water, like, you know, those like bungalows that are literally on the water, like you walk out on a deck over the water and they're on the water, and they have like, you know, they have like see-through pools and stuff like that, or like floors that in the bungalow that are see-through and it's the ocean underneath. I like, that is my dream vacation. I don't know if I'll ever see that in my lifetime because it's like $10,000 a night to stay somewhere like that, but that is my absolute like dream ultimate vacation. Even if I only stayed for like 3 nights, it would be amazing. So not necessarily a place, because I think a lot of places offer it, like Bora Bora and Fiji and stuff. Like there's a lot of places that offer that. So it really would just come down to where I find the best price. But that is my dream. Maybe one day when my kids are all grown and I have more money, maybe one day, but I don't know. We'll see. Let me know if you've ever stayed anywhere like that. Oh, I would be so envious. Any must-do items for your family in the summer? For the summer, this summer, I really want to travel more. It kind of just depends. Colby goes to his dad's for the summer, so we're one child less, unfortunately, but you know, co-parenting, I have to share him. But he goes to his dad's for the summer, but I really want to travel. Chris is going to be getting out soon, so I really want to start exploring other places because we know we don't want to stay here for good. I really want to go to places where we think maybe that's a good fit, spend a few days there to a week there to see how we really like it. We want to go to like Gatlinburg. We want to go to like Nashville area. We want to go to Asheville area, like kind of like the mountainside and Tennessee and stuff. We really want to go to those areas, and it's not that far from us, so it'd be really easy to like take a day drive and spend a weekend there. So that is kind of our goal right now, is to do more things like that. Maybe go up to Myrtle. Myrtle's 2 hours north from us. We could go up to Myrtle, go down to Savannah, which is also 2 hours south from us. So really just doing like those weekender trips for this summer is what we really want to do. And then in a couple of years, when Tristan is probably about 5 and Colby is 18, we want to go to like Universal and Disney and do that trip. We just wanted to wait until Tristan would be old enough to ride the rides and remember it. And we also didn't want to do it too late to where Colby was out of the house, because we want to do it with all the kids. So, but that's not for like another 2 years. But that will probably be a summer thing whenever the time comes. What subjects were you studying and how did your efforts go? So I was going to school for a Bachelor in Human Services directed in Family and Child. My schooling went great. I only have my internship left, which unfortunately, I'm not sure that I'm gonna be able to complete it because my school has a time limit of when I had to complete my degree, and I'm nearing that. And because of Chris's deployment, I wasn't able to do my internships. I had 2 internships. And so basically I am stuck in this place right now where I don't know what to do because I don't have enough time to complete my internships before that cutoff, but I also don't want to do them after because I literally would pay to do them and then not get the degree. So unfortunately, I'm stuck in a rock and a hard place right now, but I've completed all of my courses. I've thought about maybe going back and changing my degree, but school is so expensive. It's just so expensive. And, you know, paying off that debt and everything is overwhelming. And we're in a great financial spot right now. So it's like, I don't know if I want to start a new degree, which I know I wouldn't have to take the basic courses or anything like that, but your expensive courses are like your bachelor's, like the ones I'd be taking. So it went good. I'm really proud of myself for completing all of my courses, but I really don't know what the future holds for me right now in that retrospect. What are your favorite easy go-to meals? I have a lot of them. Easy go-to meals are basically like my specialty, really. So if I was going to BLTs, super easy. I love doing like BLTs and French fries, and I feel like it's a great balance because with the BLT, you're getting, you know, the lettuce and the tomato and the meat, and then you can have some fries on the side because you're having vegetables with it. So and it's just so easy. I toss the bacon in the air fryer, toss the fries in the air fryer, and it's just, I mean, it's done within minutes. I love it. It's not super bad for you, and it's quick. Another one for easy, I love doing like stovetop chicken, like breading it really quick, throwing it on the stovetop in some olive oil and just frying it. That literally takes me maybe 10 minutes to make it, right? It takes like 5 minutes to cook it, maybe 5 minutes to bread it, and then it's done. And it's so delicious. It's so easy. And then I also love pairing everything with a salad. Because when you pair it with a salad, you get your vegetables and you also don't have to cook anything. It's less of a mess. It's, you know, pretty much ready. You just dice some things up, toss it in together. A chicken salad is something I love to make too. Just, you know, grilling up some chicken real quick and chopping it up and tossing it into a salad. And then of course, I do love a good freezer meal. Like, I think it's Stouffer's, like, meat lovers lasagna. I think that's what it is. Really, really good. And then we got one, it was a market side from Publix, and it was in the cheese section. Oh my goodness, it was a lasagna. There's a 4-cheese one and a meat one. I liked the meat one better, which is weird. Usually I would like the cheese one more, but the meat one was really, really good. And like I said, it was in the like shredded cheese aisle. Oh my goodness, it was so good. It was so good. And it was more of like it was kind of like less processed, more in-store made, you know, only lasts for a few days. You have a few days to cook it type of thing. So it's just not as processed and not as bad for you as I would assume. But yeah, those are kind of like my easy go-to meals. Anything that's gonna make my life easier, I love, but I have the tendency to cook the same things over and over again. It drives my husband nuts and he gets bored with food really fast, but I don't. I also like just grilling up some like tilapia or salmon really quick too. Anything on the stovetop really. Like I can toss any type of meat on the stovetop and cook it in like 5 minutes. And I love that. That's like my favorite thing to do. And then I pair it with a salad and we're all good. What are your hobbies? I don't really, I mean, I guess you could call YouTube a hobby. Because it's not something I have to do. So I guess YouTube would kind of be one of my hobbies. Doing the makeovers, like I love doing the makeovers and decorating, and like I would be doing those things. I do film it for my channel, but I would be doing those things regardless if I had a YouTube channel or not. I love doing those makeovers and, you know, putting my own personal touch to all the rooms and stuff. So I guess if I had to say, that would probably be like my hobby, is to decorate and makeovers and DIYs and stuff. I love doing that type of stuff. So I don't have a lot of time to do it, unfortunately. One day I'll have more time to do it, but right now it's kind of touch and go. I can't do it as often as I want to because I'm not allotted the time to, and it takes a lot of time and effort to do those things, but that probably would be like my #1 hobby. What is your favorite lunch foods? I love a good peanut butter and jelly. I love a sandwich, maybe like a little bit of chips on the side. But I don't eat lunch because I do intermittent fasting and I usually eat my breakfast pretty late and then I eat my dinner pretty early. So I snack in between there because I'm not hungry enough for a full meal. And if I eat a full meal like lunch, then I won't be hungry at dinner time. So, and then I'll end up eating too late. It kind of sets everything off. So usually for like a snack for lunchtime, I'll do fruit. I'll do, you know, if I'm feeling like I really need a sweet or something like, or, you know, savory, I'll do just a little bag of chips. I'll do, I love doing like strawberries and Nutella. So I like to do things like that, maybe some apples with peanut butter, but I don't eat a full lunch either because I'm on the go all the time. I have to pick up Grayson around lunchtime, or it's because of the fact that like I'm trying to make sure I don't, you know, I'm not hungry because I eat breakfast so late that I eat breakfast around 9 or 10 a.m. So I'm not hungry for lunch until like 1 or 2. And then I'm eating dinner by 4 or 5. So if I eat at 1 or 2, I'm usually not hungry for dinner. So I just usually forgo lunch altogether. How did you and hubby meet? Chris and I met at the gym. Really kind of mediocre, met at the gym, struck up a conversation. When we first started dating, we had both just gotten out of relationships, so it was kind of just like casual and we were friends and we enjoyed each other's company and hanging out with each other, but honestly, didn't expect it to go anywhere. It wasn't that I wasn't interested in him, it wasn't that he wasn't interested in me, but we were just in different parts of our lives. He was, like I said, we were both just getting out of serious relationships and everything. So it was kind of bad timing in the beginning, but we both liked each other. So we still hung out, we still got to know each other. And then as time went on, we just got really close and couldn't see each other, you know, couldn't see our lives without each other. So yeah, that's kind of how me and Chris started. I was a single mom with Colby and, you know, I am like really big on like nobody meets my kid too early. I mean, he didn't meet him for months. And it was funny because we would hang out after Colby went to bed. And so, I mean, I didn't really have anybody to help me. So I couldn't like just, you know, ask a friend or ask a family member to babysit. So I would have, you know, him come over and hang out. We'd like watch a movie or something and just like chat and whatnot. Like I've always found it really easy to talk to Chris. I love talking to him. So we would just hang out and he would come over and he would always like crack jokes and be like, you probably don't even really have a kid, because it was months before he met him and he was always upstairs sleeping. So he was like, I bet you don't even have a kid. So, which obviously he knew I really did. He saw like pictures in the house and stuff, but it was just funny because it took a while for me to feel comfortable. Like my best advice to any single parent, because I was a child who had a mom who, you know, brought a lot of men in and out of my life, and it was very confusing, and you would get attached to them and then they would leave, and so it was hard. So I always vowed that I would never do that to Colby, and if I didn't, you know, see a future with them, then they didn't meet my kid, or until I saw a future with them. How long do y'all have left in the military? So we are in the last leg of the military. Chris is up for retirement in a little less than a year. We just hit the year mark, so he was able to push the button and prepare to get out. So we have a little less than a year. So his last deployment should be his last deployment. I'm so excited. I mean, it is nerve-wracking because this is what we've known. This is what he's known for the last 20 years. So it's like, it's a scary step. It's scary. But at the same time, we're both ready for it. We are ready to move on to the next thing, to have a choice in where we live, to have the freedom of having a civilian job where he's not leaving and his work schedule isn't so crazy. I mean, his work schedule right now is outrageous. Like he's never really around. It's so crazy. Even when he is here, he's not really here. Like, it's a lot. So we're ready to move on to like a civilian lifestyle. Like we're both really ready. So less than a year, we're super excited, but we are gonna wait until Colby graduates from high school, which is in 2 years. We're gonna wait till then, and then we'll probably move either on the west side of South Carolina or like North Carolina, Tennessee area. We don't know for sure yet, but we're thinking somewhere along those areas. If you go back in time, would you do what you do right now? So do you mean with YouTube, or do you mean just in general, like what I'm doing in life in general right now? If I went back in time, I wouldn't change anything. I love doing YouTube. I would definitely start off on the right foot next time, because I made a lot of mistakes with my first channel and it just set me back so much time and effort, because you know, the goal has always been to make this my job. And with all of the work that I put into YouTube, which is a full-time job, if not more, don't get me wrong, I love it. I love that this is my job. I love that. But I still want a monetary, you know, I still want it to be monetized for the work that I put into it, because it's still work and it still takes time away from my family and all of that. I love it, don't get me wrong, but anybody who has a job and loves their job, they still don't want to do it for free. So I spent a few years making a lot of mistakes and learning a lot of things, and I wish I could have started off knowing what I know now. But other than that, I don't regret being on YouTube. I don't regret where my life is in general, because all the things that have happened to me in the past have led me to where I am now. And if it weren't for previous relationships, if it weren't for, you know, previous fallouts, I would have never met Chris. I mean, I would have never been here. I would have never met him. I wouldn't have my 2 sweet little boys. Like, all of these things, all of the heartbreak, all of the troubles, all of the starting over, all of the uncertainties, I wouldn't have this now without all that. So I wouldn't change anything, because it would change everything if I did. What's one of your favorite qualities about yourself? One of my favorite qualities, one of my favorite like features about myself is my eyes. That's like the #1 compliment I get. It's something that I love because it's a little different. There's not a lot of people who have the same eye color as me. That is like my favorite thing about myself. One of my favorite qualities about myself is how driven and independent I am. Independence has always been a favorite quality of mine. Like, if you would ask me 10 years ago what my favorite quality about myself was, I would say my independence. I'm a very independently driven person. Like, if I have to buckle down and get crap done, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. But that's also a part of being driven. I've learned throughout the years, it's not just that I'm independent, I'm also driven. And I have a lot of passion for the things I care about, like YouTube and my family and stuff. So that would be my favorite qualities about myself. Independence, driven, and passionate. I'm loyal, but that's not always my favorite quality, because I'm loyal to a fault, but it's a good quality to have nonetheless. Okay, so the last question is, what are your top 3 favorite mom hacks? So I'm not gonna lie, I was very stumped with this question, because I don't even know that I have mom hacks. Like, I probably do somewhere along the lines, but I'm like, I need an example of what a mom hack is. Because I could think of like objects that are mom hacks. I could think of like presents and dealing with kids that are mom hacks. So I don't have a lot of like mom hacks in general. Like, decor wise, I have a ton of mom hacks. Like, grab a pretty basket to put all your kids' toys in. I like little things like, I got these yogurt things. It's still one of my favorite things that I ever got, but it's these little yogurt things that go on the squeeze pouches. Sorry, I just sneezed. But it's like this cap that goes on the squeeze pouches that I got when Tristan was really little, because he loved eating them, but of course he would like squeeze it all out, and it stops it from being squeezed out. You kind of have to like have the volume of sucking it out. Those are one of the best mom hacks that I think I've ever come across. Honestly, I don't have a lot of mom hacks. Like, I guess it just depends, because every child is different as far as what type of hacks you need. Like, my hacks with Grayson are different than my hacks with Tristan. You know, you have to cater to each child differently, but I don't think I really have like just generic mom hacks. I am the worst person to ask for that, because I don't think I really have any, which makes me think I really need to start like looking into them and doing more. But okay guys, thank you so much for watching this video today. It was a long one, so thank you if you made it to the end and you're still hanging out with me. I appreciate you so much. And thank you for everybody who participated and gave me some questions, because I can't do these Q&As without the questions. So I appreciate everybody who took the time to write out a question and leave it for me. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.